Hello, everybody. The Hangout is live now. My name's Catherine, and I'm from Alameda. And we do these Hangouts every week on Thursdays. And the team is a great team. We have each have our own business, but we're not alone. So this we do like topics of any interest that we want to talk about business or personal things on these Hangouts. And you can come and watch and maybe put a comment, and they're really great. They're very informative, all of them that they come. So we have right now we don't have an international panel, but we usually do. But a few of them are not here today. So now we just have some from New York and Canada. So
that's international.
Yeah, that's true. I meant like. So let me.
Yeah. Hey.
So let me let each one introduce themselves quickly before I go ahead with my topic. So Carol, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. I think you meant intercontinental, right?
Yeah.
Continent. My name is Carol Makowski. I live in upstate New York at the other end of the house from my spouse, Ellie. And we're both internet marketers and bloggers, and I'm very excited to hear what you have to say today, Catherine, whatever your name is. No, I'm just Catherine. And I will pass it right along to the next person.
And that would be Danny. Danny, would you like to introduce yourself?
Okay, sure. Hi, I'm Danny Cluche, and I'm from the other country that these guys aren't in. I'm from Canada. I'm in the Great Lakes region, and I'm also an online entrepreneur, and I'm excited to hear what Catherine has to tell us about getting off our butts tonight.
Okay, thank you, Danny. Okay, Ellie, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hi, Ellie Walsh here, in this country. Upstate New York. I am on the other side of the house, like Carol said, of Carol. And so we do have a global panel here because we do have Canada, and sometimes we have Australia with us. So they're out traveling. Actually, they're doing a mastermind together in Australia, so that's pretty exciting. We're waiting to hear back from them of everything that's gone on. But we're here every week, always great topics. I know Catherine's got a bunch of information for us today, so I'm going to keep quiet and go for it, Catherine.
Okay, everybody. It's get off your butt. That's the topic. To how to motivate yourself when you're in a slump. Do you ever feel in a slump when you feel unmotivated? When you don't feel like doing anything? Most of the time, it's because we have too many things on our plate, like too many goals, too many projects that we're doing. So one of the best things to do is like take one of those and focus on it completely until you are done with it. Because for some reason, if you have too many things, and sometimes it's too overwhelming, and it's better to focus on one thing and get it finished, not have like 5 different things at once, because sometimes you're never sure what to concentrate on. So it's not hopeless. Doing small steps, just getting started will help. So if you just get started with something, it might help you get out of the slump, get motivated. But here are some tips on how to counteract this. To counteract the feeling of being in a slump, focus on one goal at a time, completely, and then you can do your other goals later on when you finish that one. Is your goal exciting to do? Do you like to really exciting in your mind to do it? But even if it's not, if you know you want to do it, talk to other people. That might help you get excited, because you'll get some ideas from other people on that goal. Or maybe read a book. Maybe talk to your good friend that will give you some advice on how to go ahead with getting out of your slump. Also, reading about your goal and visualizing it in your mind, or like put it on your refrigerator or on your wall, which will also make it, you can see it all the time. Number 3 tip is post your goal in big words on your refrigerator, as I was saying, or in your wall where you see it every day, because then you'll see it and it will remind you that you want to do this goal. You want to be reminded about your goal often, daily. Even post a picture of what you're thinking about, what your goal is. It will help keep in your mind. Number 4 tip goes along with number 3. Think about your goal daily, which will help it come true. Send yourself daily reminders through the email or through maybe on your phone. You have some kind of a reminder thing. Commit to doing something every day towards your goal. Number 5, build on small success. Every little step that you take towards that goal is a success. It may not seem that way, but it's just something that you're doing that it's a success. So just start doing something for a short period of time, because as long as you do it for a short period, it is a success. And when you're successful at something, you feel good about yourself, and then you keep doing it and keep doing it. Make each step really, really small, because when you have a really small step, usually you won't fail, because it's just so small that you just do it. It's not overwhelming or big. After a couple of months, your tiny steps will add to a lot of progress and success. Number 6, start monitoring your thoughts. Recognize negative self-talk, which could be causing the slump. Take a few days to monitor your thoughts, and then spend a few days squashing those negative thoughts and putting the opposite positive thoughts in place. So maybe you're thinking, oh, I can't do that. It seems too overwhelming. So maybe say, oh, I can do this little step of, like if it's walking, you can walk maybe just down a few blocks down the street. And then that will be a success, and then you'll feel better, and you might be able to do some more next time. Number 7 tip is ask for help when your motivation ebbs. Join an online forum or get a partner to join you. Talking about it helps, so ask for advice and ask for someone to help you to overcome your slump. But watch out who you ask. I mean, make sure it's a person that you really trust and that's not going to give you bad advice. And number 8 is read a book or blog about your goal daily, because sometimes reading motivates and focuses you on whatever you're trying to achieve, especially if you're not motivated. Number 9 is stick with it. This is a big one. Sometimes when it feels too overwhelming, you just give up and you don't continue. So whatever you do, don't give up. Even if the motivation today or this week is not there, it'll eventually come back. Think of your goal as a long journey and stay with it, and think of your lack of motivation as a bump in the road, like when you're driving and there's a little bump. Just keep going at it, stay with it, and you'll get there eventually. And number 10 is just start working on the goal. No amount of preparation will do you any good if you don't sit down and go to work. Give yourself 15 to 20 minutes work on your goal and start doing it no matter what. If it's not clicking after this time, then get up and do something else, but at least you know you've accomplished those 15 to 20 minutes. So it's like a success, and then you'll feel better about yourself, and then you'll do it again. Actually, though, you will look back and you'll see how much you've done, even if it's little successful steps, and it's added up. And before long, you'll know that you actually have done something worthwhile. So it's so actually you'll see, oh, I've done so much. So maybe I should continue, because if it's just small steps, then it's much easier to finish that thing. And I mean, finish the goal than to just do it all at once and feel overwhelmed. So those are my 10 tips. Does anybody on our panel have anything to add? I'm sure you do. So.
Yeah, I do. First of all, I think that's wonderful advice to just get started. I mean, I know sometimes it's so difficult, but as you say, chunk it down into something very little, take a little tiny period of time, but do something.
Yes,
And then
right.
if you find you can't keep going, then step away and come back to it, and you do have that success to look back on. I couldn't agree with you more about that. Secondly, I think it's so funny because Ellie and I work so differently. She's somebody who can take something, and she's like a bulldog on a bone. She will stick with something. I've seen her do it for an entire day, 8 to 12 hours she'll stick with something. I can't do that. I have to do little chunks. I can do something, and then maybe I'll do something else, and maybe I'll do something else, and sometimes a fourth thing, and then come back and work a little bit more on each thing and fill it up. So it's funny how differently different people approach things.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just wondering, you mentioned something about, not something about, but you mentioned getting in touch with other people when you're really stuck to look for some inspiration or motivation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering, I'll just throw it out there, what people think about an accountability partner. I know there's mixed feelings. That some people love that, some people don't like it, and I was just wondering what people thought about that, and I'll pass it on to the next person.
Anybody else have any thoughts about accountability partner or somebody to have it talk to?
I think it's a great idea. But like Catherine said, I think you have to find somebody who is compatible with
Yeah.
how you're going to approach that, because not everybody approaches that the same way.
Mm.
You have maybe somebody like me. I don't like to insult people, so I don't want to feel like I'm bugging them, right? So I'm not always the greatest accountability person, but if I get somebody really strong with me, I know I can be stronger because I know they can take it. So you have to have a good working rapport with them, I think. You kind of have to be on not necessarily the same page, but the same kind of accountability.
Right.
You know?
No, that sounds good, Danny. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Ellie, you have anything to add to that? I'm sure.
She's sure. What does that mean? I'm laughing. It's true. Carol and I were very different. Most people would say, I'm that alphabet thing, ADD, ADHD, whatever the hell. I've had people ask me. I've actually had people ask me, "Are you ADHD?" I'm like, what? I don't know. I never got diagnosed, and I have no way am I going to do that. But what people don't realize is, so they say, okay, and at least for me, whether I am that or not, that those people can do this huge super focus. And that is what happens to me. So when Carol says, to the point of, can be in crazy nuts, because I can just keep going, and 10-hour days is nothing. All right, I could be at this computer for 16 hours and get up the next day and get back right into it if I'm that focused on getting that thing done, to the detriment of whatever else is going on then. So, it can be a plus, and it can also be not a plus. So so it comes down to how you personally deal with that, because I can also do that other thing, be so scattered. Not do like Carol does, where you start this and start this and start. I just don't know where the hell to start. What happens is you end up doing nothing, or very little of anything. So, being aware of that stuff, being aware of how you work, because, I don't think there is no right way for any one person. You've got to know how you work, and then, what motivates you. These are all great tips. Give this little, a piece here, chunk it down so you're on your way. I think that's really great stuff. But and accountability partners, I'm funny about them, so I'm not the right person to talk to about that. I thought so. I thought she got frozen. Poor Catherine fell out. She'll be back. I'm not always crazy about accountability partners. I have maybe it's because I am that super focused person, and then I'm over here, and it's never worked well for me. I feel like somebody's telling me what to do, and don't freaking tell me what to do. All right, so it doesn't work for me, and I know it works for a lot of people. So again, I don't, whatever. You got to find out what works for you.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I know, Catherine. I think we lost her again.
Yeah. Again? Can you hear me?
No,
I
you're
hear
I hear
you.
you.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm trying to. I don't know my internet's not even messed up, but for some reason it's going in and out. Okay, maybe now it'll stop. Can you
you're
see
with us.
me?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Whew.
Yeah.
All right. Good. I don't like that when that happens. So okay. Well, sorry about I missed Ellie's thing. Ellie's talk.
Uh,
So, but anyway, so yeah, that's those are the pointers that I have about getting more motivated. But about Danny's thing is, yeah, you have to find the right person that has good rapport with you. You can't just have. I mean, you have to make sure also the person that you trust them, that they're not going to go. If you want to be able to say something, that they're not going to go and say something wrong or just say something to somebody else. So you need that trust between your rapport and the person.
mm.
So, anybody else have anything to say?
Yeah, I forget exactly which point. There's something you said about something negative coming into your purview when you're trying to do something. I don't know whether you said you're not feeling good about yourself or whatever, but
Recognize negative thoughts.
there
Yeah,
you go. Thank
yeah,
you. Recognize negative thoughts, right.
yes.
I've been reading this book lately. I read it once before and I hated it. I picked it up again because of boot camp we're
Hmm.
involved in, and I am so taken with this book this time. I don't, you talk about being in a different place. This has happened to me with a few books lately, but it's called New Psycho-Cybernetics.
I've heard of it. Yeah.
Right. And towards the very beginning of the book, the author speaks of a technique. A lot of this work is done with athletes who need to focus, and they use imagery a lot prior to whatever it is that they're going to do. They envision things, and the point being that your mind doesn't know the difference between reality and imagination, and you can fool your mind, so to speak. So he talks about this thing where then he moves it over into the business world or even the performing arts, whatever it happens to be. You envision what it is that your goal is. It could be accomplishing a task or something. And, you get some detail in it in your imagination as you're envisioning it. And then you pretend that you're stepping into a movie theater, and you kind of step out of the action that you're doing right now, and you watch a movie play in your imagination of how this thing all plays out and how you want it to be. And then at the end of the movie, you again step out of it and back into the place where you're doing this action, whatever it happens to be, and you replay the movie that you just saw, almost like it's deja vu.
Oh.
So it's like a three-step process, and you're really anchoring it and reinforcing it in your mind. And I just started doing that this week in regard to something I'm working on. So he talks about 21 days, so whatever. I never like to put a time frame on it, but I'm very eager to see how this all plays out. I was so enthralled with this idea, so let's see what happens.
Yeah. Please tell us what happens.
Sure.
See, tell us how if it works for you.
Okay, I will.
Okay. Well, what?
No, 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 no. I'm not ready to get out of here.
Oh, okay.
It's only 20 of the 6th. I want to talk about that
Oh,
book.
okay. Okay. Go ahead.
And Carol, you're reading the new Psycho-Cybernetics this
Yeah.
time, right? And I read the original one at least 4 times. I read that years ago, and it was a life-changing book for me. And this is not about if it works. This works, but it has to be done. And it's not going to be 21 days for some people. For some people, it's going to be 11 days, and some people, it's going to be 89 days. Or you know what I'm saying? Again, we're not. There's no such thing as one size fits all in life. There really isn't in clothes either, is there? Okay, and, they say one size fits all sometimes. This thing's hanging off you, it's too tight. It's really not true. One size fits all, and especially in ways of how you're dealing with life. But I can get so stubborn, Dan. And that's probably the thing about accountability partners, too. Because I see Patricia Henry here is with us, and she's saying, yes, I love accountability partners, right? And so many people say that. But I can get very stubborn. And I know you're all surprised at that. And when they talked about the new psycho-cybernetics, I wouldn't read it. I bought the book, but I wouldn't read it. Because I was like, well, what do I need the new? This Dan Kennedy, who the hell does he think he is? Rewriting Maxwell Maltz's stuff, And then some people said, no, it's the original information in there. And I finally picked that book up. And now that's my favorite version of it. Because Maxwell Maltz is involved in that book. He was still alive when that book was written. And I didn't realize that. I thought Dan Kennedy just got in there and he just was like, going to throw up Maxwell Maltz's stuff and put his 2 cents in. And I was like, who the hell is he? Okay. Can you imagine? I got like that.
Yeah.
So I can be very stubborn. So I would read it for the longest time, and I read it and I'm like, holy crap. Because it's a little more, it is all of Maxwell's original information as well as his added information in there. And it's a little more up to date, and even that's an older book now, but it's a little more up to date for people to grasp a little better in today's more language than when it was originally written. But to me, there is no such thing as if it will work. It works. You just have to be diligent with it, because it's the way we work. It's the way our brains work. So it's not about will it work. There's my 2 cents.
I agree, Ellie. It's an excellent book. It's definitely one of my favorites. I started reading it about 2.5 years ago, and I say started because I'm an audio girl, so I listen to it. I don't read it because then I'll fall asleep. So I listen to it, and I've been listening to it for 2.5 years. I listen to it over and over and over and over and over again. I love it, and it's one of my favorites to listen to while I'm at work. And I always get something new out of it, because you're never in the same frame of mind for every single chapter that you reread, right? So you're not always accepting what's coming at you for information. Sometimes you're going, yeah, whatever, or you just don't hear something. But when you're listening to it maybe again the next time, or maybe even the next time after that, it finally clicks and you go, oh, how come I never heard that before? But you have. So it's interesting the way it keeps giving you information again and again and again. It's really a great book.
I guess I'll have to get that one because I never read any of it. I've heard of it, but I haven't read it yet. So.
Oh my God, it's like a must-have book.
All right.
Hey, I'm going to say this. I'm not done yet. I'll be done now, okay? Part of that idea of being motivated, or if you're in a slump and all, reading is, but I don't mean reading a love novel, all right? Reading a book about personal development, I believe that book. If you're in a slump or you're not motivated, go get that damn book. Because you learn how your brain works. Because that idea of why you're in a slump and overwhelmed, there's a whole bunch of other reasons. All right, there's self-worth issues in there. There's all kinds of issues in there if you're not so-called motivated. I'm not even crazy about that word motivated, but inspired. There's a lot of it's all about this stuff that's in our heads that are running our lives that we don't even realize. And that book opens that door to that. It truly, truly does. So now I'll be quiet, Catherine.
No, that's fine. You talk so nicely. So anybody else have anything to say before?
Let me just piggyback on what Ellie said, too. I've heard Ellie say this in many classes that she's done on law of attraction. In reference to this book, and it's like the rubber band effect, and I read that in the book also. I passed by that part where you can't do anything bigger, better, more improved, whatever word you want to, adjective you want to put on that, than what your self-esteem allows you to do. You can't go beyond that. So it's like when you stretching a rubber band. If you take a rubber band between your two hands and you stretch it, you try to go farther. Yeah, you can make it go farther for a second, but as soon as you let it go, bang, it's going to snap right back to where it started from. And that's why it's so important to do to work on yourself, to do some work on yourself, so you can expand yourself. And then as you build your self-esteem and expand your own personal development, then you can step into that and do bigger and better things, and move out of your comfort zone, whatever it happens to be.
Oh.
So yeah, I don't know, I just love that book. I love it.
Well, I'm going to have to get it now because everybody loves it. So darn it.
Get the new one, the new site.
Yeah. Okay.
But wait a minute. So that's what happens when you expand. What you're doing is you're getting a new rubber band. That is the
a
book.
bigger one.
Now I don't know if it's in this book though, if it was in the original, where it talks about. And when I read that, my God, we're going back over 25 years ago. I read that book. Okay, the first time, and that was eye-opening. In essence, it's the law of attraction. They just don't call it like that, and they just don't explain it. Okay, that way. Okay, but which was good for me, I think, because this is more of the way that our brain works idea, and I have a tendency to follow that path. So when I read that, is when I was able to look back at my life and see so many times that I almost got something, you were like right there, this great thing you wanted, and it would like freaking fall apart right in your face, smash, whatever, and realized that was because I didn't have a self-esteem to take me there.
Oh.
I didn't have self-worth to take me there. I said I believed, but I really didn't believe that I could be there. So sometimes as you're getting there, you're stretching that rubber band, but if you haven't caught up your self-esteem to it, boom, it snaps right the hell back. So when I don't like that word self-sabotage either, because it sounds like we do it on purpose, and we don't. Nobody screws around with themselves on purpose, but in essence, it is self-sabotage because it's your own belief systems that you're not even freaking aware of, okay, that are bringing you back down to where you were. So they are your own belief systems, but we don't even, we know more about the person we live with than we usually know about ourselves, of how we really work, about what's really going on in our freaking heads. Because nobody ever taught us to do that stuff, So this book is huge, and each time I've read it, it's like Danny was saying, I mean, I've been reading it over years now, right? It's like this other aha, and I mean, look what Carol says. She read it, and I was shocked when she said to me the first time, I don't like the book. I was like, what? I was shocked, okay? And then she started reading it again the other night, and she's like, I love this book. I said, you what? So you're at different points of your life, right? Of where things, and it's like when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. It's one of those. It really is. So I could talk for another 4 hours about this book. Jeez, you'd think I'm selling the book. I'm not, but I'll be quiet now.
No, all right. Anybody else have anything to say? Or are we all good?
Just a reminder that in terms of maybe you were going to say this already, Catherine, I don't know, but in terms of our Hangouts, we're taking a hiatus over the end of the year until the first Thursday in January, which is...
I don't have my calendar.
No, I haven't.
The 7th. And Danny is going to do it on the 7th.
Right.
Yahoo!
Woohoo! I'm excited.
So I wish everyone has joined us or who will be watching the replay very happy holiday season, and enjoy yourself. Have a good time. We'll see you in the new year.
That's right. Yes. Happy New Year. And so now what will happen is, well, if you like this group, if you like these topics and want to come and be on our team, then you go back to the person who invited you and they'll talk to you more about the business and let you come, I mean, and help you come into the team. And it's a really good team. All the people are fun and they're very motivational as we're talking about. So but now we will be closing off the topic, and we will go onto our regular mastermind. So,
All right, we're gonna go hang out with each other. I just realized this. We didn't think of it. We should have had those
Yeah.
things, those damn noisemakers,
oh yeah,
because we won't be here for that. So it's true. Whoever's watching now, or if you're watching the replay, we won't be back. We'll be back
Yeah.
next year.
Right.
Danny is the first one that's going to bring us back next
Yeah.
year. And we wish you all a happy, fabulous New Year. 2016 is your time.
Yes,
Yeah.
and our time
Merry
too.
Christmas, happy holidays, happy New Year.
Happy
Bye.
New Year.
Happy New Year.
Bye.
Whee! Woo!
I'm gonna